Hi, I'm Jason Carter, and I'm sick and tired of these journalists calling out Vince McMahon in the WWE.
And I'm Steve McCollum, and I'm sick and tired of East Coast people complaining about sports starts times. World Series.
Main Event Podcast is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
You have fun at the game?
Yeah, it was so exciting. They scored the winning hit right at the buzzer.
I think he wants to come inside Utley.
He doesn't always go down.
There's a very pure art to that stroke, isn't it? Yeah, it's wonder coffee.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Put your testicles in the C gap.
Welcome to the Main Event Podcast, episode number 33. Jason Carter along with Steve McCullum. And welcome to episode number 33. Make sure you check us out on social media. We are on Twitter at The Main Event Pod. You can also find us on Facebook at The Main Event Podcast. And you can also find me and Steve both on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Same handles for us on all those platforms. I am at Jason Carter03. Steve is
SMAC500, SMAC 500.
And we got a pretty busy sports week. A lot of crazy things been going on in the world of sports. Dallas Cowboys got themselves a number one wideout, so I'm proud. And Cowboys are going to win Super Bowl again this year, baby. Woo.
That's what we're starting with, a trade that nobody cares about.
I was a little down. Everyone cares, all right? America's team. People care. They care, Steven.
And did you call him the number one wideout?
He's a number one wideout.
He's got the most drops in the NFL in the last 3 years.
Well, it means he's been thrown to a lot, all right? Like, gosh.
But, like, I guess you guys are proud of receivers that drop balls. You guys did love Des Bryant.
Yeah,
so.
Terrell Owens. Come on now.
That's a good point.
We're all about those guys that drop balls. We love them.
Didn't think about that at all. So that'll be interesting to see what they do with them. I mean, there's no doubt Dak needed an upgraded receiver to throw the ball to. I just, we'll see.
Hey, Arizona ties, though, with that trade that happened. Bryce Butler was cut to make room.
Well, the Cardinals cut him first, and the Cowboys picked him up. So
after the Cowboys come to go to the Cardinals.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was with the Cowboys last couple of years.
No. Then the Cardinals didn't pick him back up.
No. I was just saying, like, before the season, like...
Yeah, they picked him up. Yeah. So Cardinals picked him up in the offseason, and then cut him in preseason, and he went back to the Cowboys, and now he's cut again. Yeah.
So, poor Bryce Butler.
Yeah. Well...
His career, rest in peace.
If you were a good receiver, you wouldn't have been cut by the Cowboys, because they need receivers.
Definitely do need receivers.
And so do the Cardinals.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm not judging how it's going to be either way yet.
Your hopes are up.
Hopes are up, though. Hopes are up. See what can happen.
But like mid-season trades never work, though, Jason. Like in the NFL, like mid-season trades never work. They don't get the system down. It's a big system to learn. They don't get it down. They've been training for 8 months now in a different system, especially him with Gruden, and now he's got to walk in and unless he learns clap language for Jason Garrett, I don't know.
Oh, that means I did good. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that one means he's disappointed.
Yeah, that was a slow four clap. What's a slow four clap mean, guys? What's a slow four clap mean?
Give me the playbook. Jason Garrett's claps.
Yeah, it's not like play calls or like where the wide receiver goes. It's the amount of claps and what it means to you.
He clapped 5 times with a half-second pause in between each clap. All right. He likes what it did. He likes what it did. All right.
Oh, God, we wish we were kidding. We wish we were kidding.
Half truths.
Yeah, well, you have to wait another week because they have a bye week. That's what I think is exciting about it is he, had a bye week last week with Oakland. He gets a bye week this week. So if he plays the whole season, he's only going to play in 16 games. Going to hurt his stats.
Not 16.
15 games.
Yeah,
sorry. -1. Have to carry the 1. Yeah,
subtract the 2. Yeah.
So he's not going to have very good stats this year. He's all downhill from here for the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, it's all downhill.
But Jerry Jones
missed that one game.
Jerry Jones was saying today that he sees him being a long-term receiver for the Cowboys. So.
Does that count as like a missed game? If you like your stats, like, oh, this guy's played every game since he started playing football. And then you have like the 2 bye weeks. So you only get like 15.
No, because it's not his. He did miss it because of injury or whatever. So it'll still count. He'll just have to be 1 game less than his.
Probably some random guy. They're like, it doesn't count. He'll put 15. Man.
It'll be some like You know, so if he wakes up and actually becomes like, you know, Hall of Fame receiver or whatever, it'll be like some random stat. You know, he had one less game. He didn't miss any games in his career, but he played one less game than everybody else over that time frame. Why? Everybody's going to be like, what?
I'll be like one of those random Buffalo Wild Wings trivia questions where the question's really long and then they get the answers like, what?
Who's the player? But I think AP did that last year too. AP had 2 London games last year because when he was with the Saints, they were in London, and then after that London game, he got traded to Arizona.
Right.
And then we went to London, so he had 2 London games last year, not 2 buys. So just weird little stats like that you know.
There you go.
Wake me up. I don't know.
It happens. So a lot of big news coming out this past week. We're both, you know, pretty big wrestling fans. I'm probably bigger than you.
I was gonna say not probably.
All right, but you know, I enjoy wrestling
because I get my wrestling news from you usually.
The WWE Evolution coming up this week, all women's pay-per-view, pretty exciting stuff. But next weekend, right? November 2nd, November 3rd, something like that.
Yep.
The plan is go to Saudi Arabia. That's been the plan. They went to Saudi Arabia, did this big deal down there back in March, April, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then they're going back, but this journalist was killed by the Saudi government. For some sorts, WWE came out with a statement yesterday because a lot of talk's been, what are they going to do? Everybody says they're still going. They have taken out the mention of Saudi Arabia. They used to be like, we're going to the Crown Jewel, is the event name, in Saudi Arabia. But now they, this past week, they kind of just stopped saying Saudi Arabia because there were some talks that they were looking frantically for a new spot for the show. But came out yesterday, WWE's like, hey, we're going, full court press, we're going to Saudi Arabia. And a lot of journalists are not happy about it.
A lot of journalists aren't happy about a lot of things, Jason. But so there's a lot of political stuff obviously going on there, and they don't want him to go there because you're supporting a regime. But Saudi Arabia is not to get political here, but Saudi Arabia is a repressive community. Like, they have hit squads, they kill people. After 9/11, all these Saudi princes all of a sudden ended up dying in car accidents. No, they were getting knocked off by the government because they were part of the people that funded 9/11 and stuff like that. You know, a lot of stuff you don't hear about. But so they don't want them supporting the people there and everything. It's the whole basis behind it or whatever. And I get that side if you want to play that political game. But at the same time, WWE, it would have been impossible. They would have had to cancel the whole event. It's a big moneymaker, and to be honest with you, most people that watch WWE don't give a shit.
I literally, all the news about it, I was talking to one of my buddies the other day, he's like, I didn't know anything about the Saudi deal until I saw, somebody bring it up some randomly, and now, all these, national, broadcasts, oh, let's see, take down Vince McMahon right now, he's evil, doing this for all the money, we see where his heart lies, kind of lies in the green, he didn't know the guy, whatever, but, apparently, a couple of wrestlers might not go, it looks like.
Well, John Cena was one that said he might not be going, right?
Yeah, him and Daniel Bryan. Of course, John Cena, not a huge loss, I guess. I mean, he's just a part-timer.
Yeah, great. We won't, we won't get to see him lose and be a horrible actor in the ring.
Right, yeah. But he was supposed to do the best of the world tournament I think they're having, and then Daniel Bryan, that one's kind of a weird one since he's supposed to go for the title here, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. If he goes or not. Cash always talks in these situations, right?
But they have, those two guys especially have a personal brand that a lot of the guys don't have outside of wrestling. Daniel Bryan obviously not as big as John Cena, but John Cena has a personal brand outside of wrestling that he's trying to, make and be successful and things like that. So I could see him not wanting to go for that reason because he doesn't want, to answer all those questions when he comes back. If he's doing a movie and everybody's like, well, you supported the Saudi Arabia regime and stuff like that. So I can get that, but most of those guys are just in the WWE world. And like I said, most people that follow WWE, I just don't care,
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
It's a mute point.
I mean, you know, and Vince McMahon of all people, I mean, he's like Trump, you know, he's like Teflon when it comes to these things. Because, like I said, he's in an industry where, I mean, what's he going to do? Lose a few fans that, you know, they're going to be like, oh, you know, you support Saudi Arabia.
I'm not subscribing to your network. Yeah,
like,
you only get like $10 a month.
Most fanboys and fangirls aren't going to do that. So he's in an industry where he's just gotta put up with the attention here for the next, you know, 2 weeks till it's over with. Then he'll take some heat afterwards, and then it'll go away. Nobody will bring it up except for those people that hate him, you know, a year from now. But those people aren't watching anyway. So
345 million Saudi is a decade-long deal that WWE signed with them back in March. So.
Do they even have a contract? So they couldn't break it if they wanted to?
So they had a contract with them. So I don't know the language. If it was like, hey, if we decide to kill a journalist, you guys can pull out. I don't know what the language of the contract was or anything like that. You know? God, that's terrible. Everybody just turned off the podcast right now.
Could you imagine there's a paragraph that says that on there? So, I mean, you know what you're getting. You know, it's not any different. I mean, you know, there's a reason we don't talk more about Saudi Arabia and the United States is because it's a horrible place to live and goes completely against most of our values for murder and stuff like that. So it's just interesting how stuff like this, but it's all politics and everything. And, you know, you just got to navigate the best you can and do what you can for your company because it is, after all, the McMahon and Triple H's company, right?
That is correct. And interesting thing about it is Glenn Jacobs, who is the mayor of someplace in Tennessee, is going to the event. So
why is that interesting?
Well, just says the whole political landscape of it. Glenn Jacobs actually is a politician. So
no, but the politics side is coming from journalists doing their politics, trying to get them not to go.
Right.
And like, you know, left-wing people that, you know, don't want, you know, that the human rights side and, you know, all that stuff they're the ones that don't want, you know, them going. Nobody else, you know, cares. Yeah. It's just there's just a certain political side that's against it and wants to influence it and hurt Saudi Arabia. You know, they don't even want us to get our oil from them and stuff like that. So that's a whole nother argument for another day, to be honest with you. But you know, but that's all it is. Like I said. Everything you hear about with politics and you watch all these polls and everything, I mean, we're talking about a small percentage of people that actually give a damn. So
I don't give a damn. I'm looking for a great wrestling event. Well, wrestling.
Love me some good wrestling. Some would say that you're ignorant, Jason.
Love me some wrestling there, Steven. Wrestling.
Kill people as long as I see wrestling. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Well, everybody get down their spandex, wear their tights, get all greased up, and just wrestle each other in Saudi.
No women again, I guess?
No, but women are actually going to be allowed to attend the event this time.
Oh, I did. So yeah, because they just
like the big thing. Yeah.
Well, because after the last one, they started allowing women to drive by themselves and go to the movies. I think were the two big moves they made after the last. So WWE changing the world for better.
There you go. And you just go over to Saudi, and this creates friendships, all right?
I thought...
Synergy, baby, synergy. That's why the women have the pay-per-view this week. It's because they didn't get to wrestle on that one.
That makes sense. But there's someplace in the world, it's not Saudi Arabia, but it's someplace over there, like Iran or something, where women aren't allowed to attend, like, soccer games or something anymore. Because they get too horny and they can't control themselves, so they banned them from soccer venues.
Really?
Like that's the reason they gave, obviously. But yeah, I mean that's how
that's the reason they gave. Is, hey, our women are getting too horny at games.
Yeah, like women get too excitable, too horny, too excitable, watching half naked men run around the field and kick balls. Apparently,
those women that comes to some cards games, make it interesting. These last few.
Yeah, it's like well. You know, obviously they're making it up and they're using that as an excuse on why they can't go. But, you know, soccer leads to devious things with women, apparently.
God bless them. God bless them. So, World Series Game 3 tonight.
How do you transition on that one?
We're about to bust out the big bats tonight. The Lumber, the Dodgers are getting ready to supply tonight. So, some completely different lineups going into tonight's game number 3. Give it to you, some notable lineup changes for game 3. Andrew Benintendi sits for the first time this postseason. JD Martinez is going to be in left field for the Red Sox. First time since September 4th. Yasmani Grandal, first start behind the plate since NLCS Game 3. Peterson, Muncy, Bellinger start for the first time in this World Series for LA. So here's your lineups for the Red Sox. Leading off, got Mookie Betts in right field, Xander Bogaerts at short, Mitch Moreland getting the start at first base, batting third. JD Martinez, like I mentioned, batting fourth in left field. Brock Holt, Rafael Devers, they're batting fifth and sixth. Jackie Bradley Jr., of course, in center field. Christian Vasquez and Rick Porcello on the hill tonight for the Red Sox. So pretty solid lineup. Dodgers got Jock Peterson in left, Justin Turner batting second at third, Max Muncy batting third at first base, Manny Machado, of course, at shortstop, batting cleanup, Cody Bellinger, Yasiel Puig, Yasmani Grandal, like I mentioned, batting seventh and catching, Chris Taylor at second, batting eighth, and Walker Buehler batting ninth.
So my rant was going to be about analytics and how it's ruining baseball. Like, it's ruining baseball. Like, the Dodgers are going to lose this series because analytics tell them, to pull Kershaw in the fifth inning or whatever it was when he's dominating because of a better deal, they're sitting players that you traditionally wouldn't sit because they're awesome players because analytics tells you to, so they're not getting in the games, and they're down 0-2. But on the same side, I know baseball fans, on the same side, analytics said that the Red Sox should pull and pinch hit Baez for whoever that was, and he jacks a 3-run homer. So I get it on both sides, but I'm just saying, man, it's taking the power out of these things, and they're just making decisions that end up just costing them the game a lot of times. And it's, in my opinion, it's making baseball almost unwatchable because watching it, they're gonna, why would you pinch hit for this guy in this situation? Why would you pull this pitcher in this situation when he's dominating? I mean, Kershaw is one of the best pitchers in baseball, and you pull him that early in a postseason game when he's dominating it just because a number tells you to. It drives me nuts.
It gets amplified more during the postseason just because every pitch matters in the postseason.
Milwaukee's starting bullpen guys, and no pitcher's gonna bat. No pitcher's gonna see the same batter twice, and it's just like, God dang. Remember the old days when you look up a starter and you'd be like, oh man, I want to watch this lineup. I want to watch these two starters go against each other. Nowadays they're in there for 5 pitches and then get set down.
Well, that was a plan. That was a smart plan.
Was it smart though? Analytics. I agree with you. He was going to throw on the mound that day anyway, so you might as well go in and throw 5 pitches, right? So I actually agree with that side of it there, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's almost becoming, and I'm not even like an old traditionalist on baseball. Like I usually care less. I'm just finding it annoying. Like Bellinger, like you said, hasn't started at all. One of the best hitters in baseball, one of the best young hitters in baseball, couldn't find the field in the first 2 games because analytics said it didn't match up. You mean to tell me after you lose those 2 games that you couldn't have used his bat in the lineup? It's not just hits anymore. Baseball is a sport where it's not just what you do at the base, whether you get a hit or not. Sometimes it's just the way they have to pitch you and wear the pitcher down because he's got to throw 30 pitches because you foul off a bunch of balls, or he's got to pitch around you so you get on base. Like a lot of that's part of baseball that you're missing now because of the analytics side of it. And you're sitting like one of the youngest guys on the planet, youngest great hitters on the planet, just because some stupid number from some nerdy dude in a press box says not to. It drives me nuts. That should have been my rant. I don't even remember what my rant was now.
Something about start times.
Oh, that's right.
And then we got this 5 p.m. start time. What the hell is this? Wow.
No. Oh my God, East Coasters. No, let me go off on this rant now. Now I'm all fired up about analytics. So, and then the Angels, they're like, oh, we need so Socia retires right after 19 years, and then they're like, oh, Brad Ausmus is coming in, an old school manager, and they're like, the only reason we hired Brad Ausmus is because he's going to bring analytics to baseball. Like, holy crap, guys! Like, analytics isn't the reason the Angels have sucked the last several years. It's they're all washed up and they all got injured and everything. Oh my gosh!
That's because Mike Scioscia's been there for 19 years.
And then furthermore, East Coast people, all of your sports start at 8 p.m. or later because some of us on the West Coast, 5 p.m. is hard for us to get to game. Dodger Stadium's going to be half empty tonight when that game starts, because you can't get to Dodger Stadium in Chavez Ravine for a 5 p.m. First pitch unless you leave your house at 9 o'clock in the morning. I was just telling Jason on the way home today at like 2:30 or so, Phoenix time, LA time. A friend of mine lives in Yuma, Arizona, and he's driving to the game. He's a huge Dodgers fan, and he posts his GPS on Facebook, and it says 19 miles to the stadium, and it says 52 minutes, and that's at 2:30 in the afternoon.
That's all highway too.
Yeah, he's on I-5 going straight to the stadium. 19 miles out. It's like, so we're pushing these games as far as we can back on the West Coast. Like, I get it. You guys want to go to bed early or whatever, but sorry, you're 3 hours ahead. The world does not revolve around you. We have issues out here in the West Coast, people, East Coasters. We have to fight traffic. We have to drive into the sun to get to the game. You guys have been out, you had dinner, you guys were relaxing all night before the first 2 games. You guys went to dinner, had a nice dinner, a couple cocktails, you guys moseyed over to the stadium, you guys probably got a nap in. Where's our nap? We don't get a nap because we have to leave work at noon to start heading to a dang stadium here. Same thing in Phoenix when we got to go to a Thursday night game. How long did it take you to get over there in the afternoon? It's ridiculous. We have our own problems. Quit complaining, East Coast media, about the late start time. It's still till midnight. It's not our fault you have the designated hitter and the freaking game goes 5 hours. It's not our fault you play slow baseball, Red Sox fan. Every Yankees-Red Sox game goes 19 hours and 7 innings. It's ridiculous. Stop it, everybody. Just deal with it. Your games start late. We have to complain that our games start early. So, the poor people going to Dodger Stadium tonight, it's 5 p.m. They're probably going to get home after midnight tonight after leaving that dang place. So it's going to be the same freaking thing. Difference is you got to nap in because your game doesn't start till 8 o'clock. We have to go straight from work and fight traffic all day and sit in a car. Ugh.
Being a Rangers fan, we're on the West Coast and the AL West. Or half our fucking road games don't even start till 9 o'clock.
Right?
What's up with that?
You never hear a Dallas, Texas fan complaining about it, right?
No, we just go to sleep.
Exactly.
We'll check the box score in the morning.
I swear to God, every media person on the planet, and they do the same thing about Sunday Night Football and Super Bowl start time and all that stuff. Like, living in Boston or New York or North Carolina, your game, DC, your games are starting late when you're playing a West Coast team. Deal with it.
Well, the Manny Machado Red Sox drama is continuing.
I am so fired up about baseball today.
You are right now.
What is wrong with me?
So, according to reports about an hour ago, Red Sox pitching coach Dana LeVangie called out the Dodgers shortstop for blatantly relaying signs to hitters during the Dodgers 2-run rally in Game 2. He said, "Oh, it's clean, it's baseball," LeVangie said in an interview with Bleacher Report. So, Manny Machado allegedly stealing signs in Game 2. How are you feeling about sign stealing? I've never been against sign stealing. It's like, if you can give your guy an edge, you're on the field, in the play right there, go for it, right?
Here comes my third rant of the day about baseball. Quit complaining about sign stealing. You give 1,900 signs. You look like complete fools when you're giving a damn sign, to the catcher. No catcher can call his own game anymore. So the manager, he's got to look to the dugout, and the manager's got to do his little rub his boobs and, get the dandruff off his shoulders and scratch his nose. And then the catcher gets told to throw a fastball, right? So then the catcher gets in his position and does 9 different signs and everything. And then the pitcher, shakes him off, and then he does 19 other different signs. He paints his fingernails so the pitcher can see it better and everything. And then, pitcher throws the pitch and everything, and the whole world goes on. But god dang it, that guy at second base figures out that the third sign is the fastball, is the pitch they're gonna throw, and he can relay it to the thing in there. That's on the people throwing the signs, in my opinion. That's another one of those unwritten rules on baseball and everything. They're not videoing. I understand if you're doing videos. What was the thing with Apple Watches a couple years ago? Electronic, the Houston was even doing stuff with cameras this year. That's just downright cheating and bullcrap. Yeah. But if you're standing on second and somebody in the dugout figures out that the second signal is, you should be changing that. It's not every inning, every other inning. You should be doing a different signal, right? That's on you. If somebody can pick out, same thing with pitchers, tipping their pitches and stuff. If you're doing something to do it and nobody on your side catches it and the other side does, that's good for them. As long as they're not using electronics or whatever, but stop complaining about it.
And-
so it's annoying.
And reading this, it sounds like a lot of it too could just be like trying to get in the pitcher's head.
Yep.
So what they're saying is, David Freese maybe tried to let off the fourth with singles against David Price. Then Chris Taylor walked, moving the runners up. So Machado was on second. After there, Kemp drove in Freese with from third with a sac fly by swinging at the first pitch he saw from Price. And after that, during an Enrique Hernandez 9-pitch at bat with Price, Machado appeared to be relaying signs and/or location to Hernandez throughout some series of motions. So as Price was coming set, Machado was leading off from second. He would place his hands on his hips. And then before each pitch, Machado would begin a series of motions, touching his helmet with either his right or his left hand, sometimes then touching or pulling the script of his jersey afterwards, and other times grabbing or touching the thigh or groin area of his pants. As the at-bat unfolded, the Boston pitching coach Lavangi remained in the dugout while Price fell behind Hernandez 2-1, and then 3-2 before 3 foul balls thrown a 93-mile-per-hour fastball that Hernandez swung at for strike 3. So Lavangi says, it was a little extravagant, yeah, maybe, but I saw the whole thing. So I told Alex I wanted to go out there on the mound before the Puig at bat because I wanted to talk some things. But when a guy gets a big punch out in that situation and a coach comes out to take a visit, I don't want to fuck with the momentum that because David Price just had a huge strikeout. So a lot of that sounds like, if you're Machado, I think if you get on second tonight, you're doing the same exact thing. Whether or not he was sign stealing, he could have just been sitting there because he knows there's a history there between Machado and the Red Sox. They've been pumping it up on Fox before Game 1. These guys do not like each other. Manny Machado, last year during Game 5 of the during Game 5 of the NLCS this year, had that run-in with the first baseman for the Brewers. Manny Machado, he's always been a dirty player. I think it's just another thing to make Manny sound dirty. But, I think half of this is just him I'm going to fuck these guys. I'm going to get in their head.
Yeah, and Machado's that way and everything, but that's my point, though. So they are astute enough, right, to catch on that Machado's doing all this stuff on second base. So why wouldn't you then change everything? Why complain about it? Just change. You catch him doing it, right? Get somebody to go to the pitcher and be like, hey, we're changing up, Have your own signal that says change up your pitch count or your sign, whatever, right? And then catch him. And then throw something like a curveball that he's going to possibly steal on or whatever. And make the batter look foolish as Machado's telling the batter a curveball's coming, and then throw a high heater, right? Why complain about it? It's just whininess. Constant whininess by baseball players. And it's just, oh my God. The whole Houston Astros video thing drove me nuts. But just why complain about it to the media? I know why. They complain to the media because now they're putting basically the Dodgers on notice that they know what they're doing, right? But why is that going to stop the Dodgers? What are you going to do? Hit Machado tonight? Ooh, that's going to show them. Let's put Machado on base.
Yeah, you've hit Machado a few times before.
But going back to our previous podcast talking, when did Machado become such a punk, man? He's just an annoying.
He's always been a punk. You just didn't hear about it because he played in Baltimore.
I know, right?
And let's be real. It's Baltimore.
Right. And I'm not disagreeing, man, but it's holy, this guy's gonna get a huge contract by somebody this year, So I was telling you, wouldn't that be? He's gonna end up back on Boston because he wants to be an East Coast player. So I'd be shocked if he signed. Everybody's shocked. Will be shocked if he signs back with the Dodgers. Wouldn't that be funny if he ends up on the Red Sox after all this?
Do you think they would boo him opening day?
No.
So when Dave Roberts, came out before the. Game 1, he got some big cheers. Had no idea why Dave Roberts was getting cheers in Fenway. If you're like, oh yeah, Dave Roberts, he was part of that big 2004 team. I was like,
I know. I told you, I was like, he was apparently a hero in the 2004.
So what Dave Roberts did actually in Game 4 of the ALCS in 2004 when they were down 3-0, the Red Sox to the Yankees. Dave Roberts was the one that stole second, and from there on, the Red Sox went on to win that game. And the following 3 after that, of course, all I remember is that Game 7 when Johnny Damon just went off with 3 bombs, helped him win the series. Then the next year he signed with the Yankees.
Yep, shaved his beard, signed with the Yankees.
And then he got cheered when they came out. They gave him his due, and then as soon as he went back out to the field, they were booing him. The Boo Birds and the flip-flops.
Yeah, right out the yeah, exactly. Batteries were thrown, I'm sure, and all that stuff.
Is that one of those deals of Manny does go to boss, you boo him on opening day? Like when he comes up, Manny, boo! Then he comes up, all right, yeah, cool. You're one of us now.
But like, yeah, I mean, it's one of those,
Rite of passage.
You're not our, you're not our enemy anymore, So,
but we still hate you.
Yeah.
We hold grudges.
But yeah, it's I don't know why I'm still fired up about baseball tonight. Holy cow!
It's game 3. We need to get to the bar for you or something, man. Get you a cocktail. Get you booted and suited. Your favorite. Wait, Red Sox gear in tonight? Dodger gear?
I don't care which team wins. Well,
you don't want the Dodgers to win.
I don't want the Dodgers to win, but if they win, I don't care. It's one of those where I don't care if whichever team wins, but it's like I'd rather the Dodgers not win because Boston fans, there are some here, but there's not as many. So like I'll be,
like Boston travels well regardless.
But I'll be buffered from Boston fans kind of here, But oh my God, Dodgers fans will just it'll just be unbearable.
Do you know how much of that ugly 2018 World Series championship gear would be in Arizona next year? Like, it would just be terrible. I mean, the Cubs are here. There was so much blue when the Cubs came here, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, go Cubs, go!" with their W flags. Like half the stadium had their W flags.
I mean, it was bad before they won, and then like just got worse after they won. But like, so I was reading this thing. So like, when you think Dodgers, right? You think like a storied baseball history, right?
I just think Vince Scully. Like, I really don't know, like, the Dodgers' history. Like, all I think is, like, Vince Scully was there.
So,
and
like...
then,
well, Kirk Gibson, obviously, 86.
Then the Jet from Sandlot. He played with the Dodgers.
Jesus.
He did.
All right. But, I mean, you think of the Dodgers as, like, a winning team, right? Like, an all-time winning team or whatever. Dude, they, like, barely ever win. Like, they're good at winning divisions, and that's it. Like look at their history. Like they aren't very good since they've been in LA. Like you get all this hype and everything about how great the Dodgers have been all over the year. I mean, winning division titles isn't a small thing. Don't get me wrong, but they certainly aren't on the level of the Yankees or anything like that. You watch SportsCenter or talk to any Dodgers fan, they're the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Oh yeah.
And if I was reading this article about how little they've actually won,
and
it was I was like totally shocked. Like, oh my God! Like you think the Dodgers are like one of the best teams in baseball every year, and they're really not. It's
the thing about
relative.
But the thing about LA too is you have the Sports Center in LA now.
Yeah.
The Fox Sports Studios are out in LA too, so you get all that market love from those guys.
That's true.
Like today, Cowherd's talking about LA because this show's in LA. During the regular season. There's no mention of the Angels. It's all about LA.
Right, yeah.
It's all about the Dodgers. Like they'll glorify Magic Johnson for being with the Dodgers just because he was a great basketball player. He doesn't even have a shit ton of control with that team, but it's still the whole Magic was a great Laker. Magic
has
is with the Dodgers.
Magic has player control there. Like he's like on the player personnel side. Like he's got control of the players and stuff, but that's his allure.
But just like ownership wise, how much money he's like bringing into the table.
I don't think he put any money in, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think they hired him.
It's just the name.
Well, yeah, it's a people thing, right? Because he's got the name, the cachet, and he's a great business guy. I mean, everything he touches turns to gold. So, like, I don't know if he still does, but I mean, he owns Fatburger, his company, owned a bank.
Oh, I love Fatburger.
He owns Edwards Theaters. I don't know if if his company still do, but I mean, he's a successful business dude by far, man. Like. He might have sold them, I don't know, but this was years ago. But he's a successful business guy. I mean, he's got the cachet to get big time players, even in crossover sports and everything.
Just proof you can do anything with AIDS.
Send your complaints to Jason Carter 03.
Well, just announced J.D. Martinez was a Hank Aaron Award winner for the American League. Christian Yelich won it for the National League. So, do you think that adds more pressure to J.D. when they announce the awards like in the middle of the World Series that he's in?
Well, does he care?
No, probably.
Does he even know he won it? Like,
I would assume so.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna tell him, right? But they're not gonna like. He's not gonna be like put it up on a mantle and be all like proud of it.
Well, not tonight.
Right?
I mean,
that's what I mean.
No.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like But there was word earlier that JD wouldn't even be playing tonight because he twisted his ankle going over across second. Or was that game 2? Game 1? That was game 1.
Yeah, game 1, yeah.
So they were saying that he might have to go. I mean,
he was my MVP pick.
That's right. Because I was like, maybe he just won it on the second at bat of the game.
Not gonna run.
But like the issue is it's a bigger issue for the Red Sox to go to a National League stadium because, you don't have the DH, so you got to move it around. So that's my problem with the DH. Isn't that, the National League team has to put the DH in there. That's actually easier for him. You just put another big bat in the lineup. Ooh, that's not a hard decision.
Yeah, if you're LA, you have options.
Yeah, but going American League to National League's got to be harder, right? Because one, your pitcher has no chance because he hasn't hit it all. But then two, you're taking a big bat out of the lineup, and you got to decide which big bat you're going to take out if you're a Red Sox there. So I'm always more intrigued by the AL team going to the NL because, that's a huge decision.
Especially when, it's every pitch that does matter. You got to go forth. I mean, the way AL managers work games, it's a lot different than how NL managers work games. And we saw, even the World Series the Cubs won, I said, going to that series, I was like, Madden is going to find a way to screw that up. And he almost did.
Yeah, right.
He almost did. I was like, Francona's been here a few times with Boston. He knows what he's doing in these pressure situations. Madden, who was an AL manager, went to NL. Obviously, he made some questionable calls during his, his first couple of years with the Cubs, and it got down to the World Series. Joe Madden's about to screw this up. It came out on top, but it was close.
Madden's one of those guys that, goes off his gut and does these things where at the moment you're like, what the hell's he doing? And then when it works, you're like, greatest manager ever. And then when it bombs, you're like, what is he doing? But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see tonight on the Red Sox. I think Dodgers should pull Game 3 out tonight. I think the Red Sox win 2 out of 3 here, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you think they end the series on what, Game 6?
Game 6.
5. Game 5.
They win 2
out of 3.
It would be.
Because they have 3,
this is
4,
3,
5.
yeah, you're right. I'm trying to think here. I'm not too sure. It goes back to Boston. The only way it goes back to Boston, but either way, the Red Sox are going to be up 3-2 going back to Boston, and they're going to win it there if that's worst case scenario. But only way it goes back to Boston is if, all hands on deck, that Game 5 where Kershaw and everybody and, everybody and their grandmothers in the bullpen, available to stay alive.
Yeah. When it gets down to in Game 6, Kershaw's coming out of the pen.
Yeah, so, I just don't. Just the Red Sox are the better team, and the Red Sox should win this. Wrap this up. I originally was joking that it was going to be a sweep, but Game 5. If anything, it goes 6, but it'll be an anticlimactic 6, I think.
Let's not count the Dodgers out yet. They were pretty resilient. They were 9 games back in September.
But they didn't game on people. People went back to them.
Yeah, true. So
Diamondbacks lost a lot of games, so that allowed them to come back. So
I think Boston does get it done. I'm actually thinking sweep now, just because David Price did win a game. I thought that was the game you're going to lose when David Price pitched. So who knows? We'll see. But I know I'll still go Red Sox in 6. Moving on to some football, we had a top 25 team already go down this weekend. Last night.
Was Virginia Tech a top 25 team?
No. Appalachian State lost to Georgia Southern last night. So big night for Georgia football as Georgia Tech beat Virginia Tech. And why are you laughing? Appalachian State, come on, man. They beat Michigan 10 years ago.
I'm like, Virginia Tech was the top 25 team?
No, after they lost to Old Dominion, they took them out, banished them from top 25 for the next 5 years.
I'm laughing because who would have thought that Appalachian State was the top 25 team? Well,
25th, baby.
I just did the perfect dismissal of respect ever for a team where I didn't even I knew they played, and I didn't even know, I didn't even think that they would be in the top 25.
Well, they lost by 20, so congratulations, Georgia Southern. West Virginia, number 13. Will Greer pistol whipped Baylor 58-14, so that was a big old stomping. And also, Georgia Tech beat Va-Tech last night. No greater entrance in college football than the Va-Tech entrance.
Yeah, we had this discussion, and maybe it's cooler in person.
I want to go in person, because ESPN, every time they have a game on ESPN, it's we got to show you this entrance. And they have the little tin, and just everybody's just jumping up and down, even the old people, most old people don't jump up and down there. It's just everybody's jumping up and down, singing Enter Sandman. How cool is it that grandma, Inner Walker is
they
still
just show
jumping
the
down,
section,
rocking some Inner. No, they always show. They show the whole crowd. They are all up about it. It's pretty awesome.
I don't know.
Well, I want to go to Virginia Tech game just for that, and I'm sure tickets now are probably $5.
Yeah, have you been to Blacksburg?
So we can probably get them pretty cheap now.
I've been there. It's middle of nowhere, off a beaten path. You can do that. You can do that, and then go to Bristol afterwards, or right down the road from each other.
There you go.
I think it's a couple hours, but
we'll have to plan the trip. Anyway, some top 25 games coming up tomorrow. SEC ranks. You got Florida and Georgia. Number 9 Florida traveling to number 7 Georgia. I keep forgetting Florida only has one loss on the season.
it was a bad. Well, what we thought was a bad loss, but it turns out the team they lost to is really, really good. So
Well, you thought it was a bad loss. I told
everybody thought losing to Kentucky was a bad loss.
They're a football team. They're a football team, man. They're a football school.
They're a good school. They got a match. I think they play Georgia next week. And if they both win this weekend, that's going to be a huge matchup next week in the SEC.
Yeah, I think they just announced game days rolling up there.
Is it
for Kentucky? I think.
No, because
the SEC.
Yeah, because it's going to be overshadowed.
SEC network's going to.
Yeah, because it's going to be overshadowed by LSU, Alabama.
Yeah.
That's what sucks. Is like they would be the game of the week because it's Kentucky being good this year. If LSU wasn't playing Alabama,
But instead they play at the same time or something next week. You know, one's on SEC Network.
Bad luck for Kentucky.
But no, the SEC Network's actually going to be in Lexington tomorrow. That's what it is for their pregame with Tim Tebow and whoever else they have over there. But yeah, Florida and Georgia in Georgia. Actually, not in Georgia, in Jacksonville. That's where they play in Jacksonville.
Is this a Florida-Georgia line here? Oh.
Well, I don't think this football game's going to be...
Anybody here? Hello?
I don't think this game's going to be as shitty as that band. Who you liking?
They're playing in Jacksonville Stadium, right?
Right. Where the Jaguars play.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Game day's going to be there tomorrow. Going to be a lot of signs.
Man, you know what? I'm going to go Georgia.
Georgia, you know what, man?
You're going to go Florida.
Give me those jorts, baby. I saw a video earlier of a dude wearing jean shorts, the Jinko jean shorts, a Tariq Hill jersey, white guy, took a Make America Great Again hat of a black guy earlier. So I'm feeling the jorts. I think Jort Nation's going to pull through and Florida's going to get it done.
I just don't trust Florida. I mean, they have in the defense too. Florida hasn't played a tough matchup since the Kentucky game. When's the last time you heard somebody say that? Yeah. But I mean, that is basically a home game for him. So, but no, I think Georgia's going to sneak in and pull that out there.
Big Ten matchup tomorrow. Number 18 Iowa, 6-1, better record, traveling to Penn State to play number 17 Penn State, who has 2 losses on the year. I like the Hawkeyes here. I really do.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, Penn State's going to sneak this one at home. Hawkeyes only win the big games at home.
I don't know. I feel like they get it done here, man.
Your pick.
I just love the Hawkeyes.
Talk you out of it.
I love the Hawkeyes. Don't talk me out of that. Washington State, number 14, 6-1, playing at Stanford, number 24, who's 5-2. Stanford, 2.5-point favorites.
I am never picking against Mike Leach and Washington State again. Cougars
all day, baby. Washington State. They're going to be a playoff team. I feel it this year. Game, though, on the Pac-12 network. Talk about disrespect.
It's a night game, too, right?
It's a 4 p.m. start.
Yeah, 4 p.m. Okay, yeah.
Disrespect.
I know, how does ESPN not pick that up? Well, it's probably Stanford, right? Well, in the defense, I mean, Washington State, nobody knew they were going to continue to be this good 3 weeks ago. Because they do the schedule, 3 weeks out?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody knew they were going to, they dominated Oregon last week at home, and so nobody knew Washington State was going to continue to win. So
but you look at the the FS1 game, because they have like the FS1, Pac-12 FS1 stuff. The game that starts 30 minutes prior to this game on FS1, Washington against Cal.
Yeah. But who's the ESPN game that night?
ESPN game that night for Pac-12 is Oregon at Arizona.
Oh my God! What? Oh my God! They got screwed.
Yeah.
Right?
Gosh.
God,
so much disrespect for Mike Leach.
Nothing like showcasing your best games, Pac-12. Holy crap! Holy crap! At least ASU at USC with USC's third string quarterback starting is going to be on the Pac-12 network.
That would be like Bama being on the SEC network. I feel like the equivalent almost.
Well, no, it would be like them on the SEC network while Vanderbilt plays
Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly, on ESPN or CBS in the middle of the day. Right?
Yeah,
that's what it would be like. Oh my God, that's horrible, Pac-12.
Disrespect, but yeah, those are the only top 25 matchups for this week. ASU plays USC tomorrow. USC starting their true redshirt freshman.
Well, they haven't announced it yet, but
it's announced, I believe.
Did they announce it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was announced.
I mean, they're the first guys out with like I don't know, a knee issue. This backup guy cracked his ribs last week, so they're saying that. I mean, they're going down to the third string, which means USC is probably going to win by 30, right? Because this is probably the best quarterback they have on their team.
Right, JT Daniels.
He just didn't get the start because he's a true freshman.
No, JT Daniels is ruled out. Who's
Yeah,
this
no,
guy?
he's the main guy.
Jack Sears.
Yeah. I mean, SC, one of those. I mean, ASU has to win one of these games they're not favored in and not expected to win in order to become bowl eligible. They got a matchup with Utah next week, a day game at Sun Devil Stadium in freaking November.
It's
Unbelievable.
gonna be bright as hell.
Oh my god, I know, right?
We doing a whiteout for that one?
Right? And then, so I mean, they have some tough things coming up. It's going to be tough for them to be bowl eligible. But, third string quarterback. But like I said, with SC, man, that third string quarterback could probably start any other college team in the country here. So.
That's what makes me so sad when I watch, like, college football, especially being a Tennessee fan.
You're like, why couldn't we? That guy chose to go to USC as a third
how
stringer.
come, like, Tennessee can't get a good, like, everybody else has, like, that one quarterback who's like, man, that guy's really good. Like, I mean, Carson Wentz came from where? Like, North Dakota? Like, what the hell? How come, like, Tennessee can get a Carson Wentz?
Like, that's the thing. Like, he wasn't every year. I mean, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah,
right?
but it's like most of the quarterbacks Tennessee gets. It's like, what the hell? And then you got like Bama, like Jalen Hurts isn't that good, but he's still won a national title. And then they got Tua, who's like just a badass motherfucker this year. Like, what the hell? Come on, Tennessee, pick it up.
That's why. I mean, that just shows you recruiting's a crapshoot, man. Because, and a lot of times that's what happens. Alabama recruited a kid that's better than the guy that we're starting, and had to put him in front of him and stuff. So I mean, that stuff happens repeatedly. That's why I joke around that this third string guy for USC is probably going to light up the Sun Devils for 400 points tomorrow on yards because he's probably the best guy on the roster. So it'll be interesting to see. And then that U of A, God, U of A is horrible. Who they got? Oregon tomorrow?
Oregon. 19. Oregon, they lost last week, right? Come off a loss?
Yeah, they lost to Washington State. That was game day in Pullman. Did you watch any of that? That was pretty spectacular.
I watched I remember we talked about the flag guy, and then sure enough, they did a story.
I know, I told you, right? Where, like, it got, some guy just makes it and they ship it all over the country. And they talked about the one where it didn't show up in Tucson.
Yeah.
And a guy got on a plane with the replacement flag just in case, and he, like, literally flew it because they didn't want it to get lost.
They brought a police escort in, because I was there, and these, like, police, I thought it was, like, the game day guys. No, it was the freaking flag. I was like, holy crap, like.
Oh, my God. And it's just some old guy that decided to, like, do a flag one day, and he just happened to be in Austin, Texas when it started. It was like,
yeah, I think he said he did it. The first game day was in Austin, and then 2 weeks after that is when the streak started.
Yeah, because
he was like, let me see if I can get this flag going. And
he was at the second place again, and then he was at some alumni function or whatever. And then he was like, "Hey guys, what if we do this?" And then like they were all put in touch with all these alumni. But he stitched that flag himself, I guess. Is what they were saying. Like, oh my God, that's
dedication, man. Dude just
Washington State.
He just loves some Cougar football, baby. He loves his Cougars. I like it.
Washington State. Like when you think like cult following for colleges, you ever think Washington State? It's almost like Washington State's like that school, and I've been to Pullman a lot and seen football games there. It's almost like Washington State's like the school where it was like, oh man, we really want, we got Washington, like we need another team in their area to be a rival. We'll take you.
Yeah, sure.
You're better than Eastern Washington.
Mike Leach doing big things over there, though. NFL, all games are going to be Sunday and Mondays. Last night, Texans whooped up on the Dolphins, 42-23. Deshaun Watson, 5 touchdowns last night.
Bill O'Brien, why won't you just suck like I want you to?
Ever since you've been on this Bill O'Brien must die kick, they have went out and won like 5 straight.
Same thing with Eddie O, right? Like I'm like, oh, they're awful, they're horrible, they're never gonna do anything, and then they win. I'm like the curse.
You are not a coach whisperer, Steve, by no means of the imagination.
I think last night had a lot more to do with Dolphins defense than it did Houston's offense, to be honest with you.
Probably. Although there was that one awesome play for Miami when they were on offense where the ball got knocked out of the dude's hands and
Falling to the air 15
went
yards.
off the dude's helmet and then flew another 15 yards and was caught for complete pass. So that was pretty cool. That was like the highlight of the game if you were just a football fan like us watching it because we don't really have a dog in this fight.
I know, you got all excited. You were all yelling.
I was like, wow, check that out, man.
And I was like, what the hell are you yelling for? You're like, that was awesome. And I was like, oh my God, it was cool. But settle down, dude.
Sorry, I got hyped up. I got jacked.
Scared me to death. Woke me up from my nap on the couch.
But starting Sunday morning, we got football in London, 6:30 a.m. start time for us. Eagles taking on the Jaguars. I think this is like technically a Jacksonville home game.
Yeah, because Jacksonville.
Just play like half their games in London, right?
Yeah.
But Philadelphia is favored only by 3 points in this game.
Oh my God, Blake Bortles has regressed to high school Blake Bortles, apparently.
He is back to year 2 Blake Bortles.
Yeah, Eagles are winning this one. Bortles better have a good game or he's getting benched for whoever their backup is. It's somebody you've heard of, but I can't think of it now. But
I don't know. He got benched last week for
yeah,
that.
I know. So
Byron Leftwich, is he still
no. You know where Byron Leftwich is. It's all over the news these last couple of days here in Phoenix. So, sorry, Eagles are winning this one.
Yeah, I got the Eagles as well. Jets then take on the Bears for some matinee matchups. Jets travel to Chicago. Chicago, man, they are coming off 2 straight losses and some close losses there to some AFC North or AFC East teams. But
their defense is healed after the bye week, I'm hoping.
Defense is healed. They didn't have a bye. They played the Patriots last week.
Oh, did they? I thought they had a bye.
They had a bye the week before.
Oh, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Bears are winning this one.
I got the Bears as well. They're 8-point favorites against the Jets.
Holy cow. Yeah.
Buccaneers at Bengals. Traveling to Cincinnati. Cincinnati favored by 3.5.
Bengals, their losing streak ends this week.
Yeah, I like the Bengals in this one, too. Let's go Bengals. We'll keep it in the middle here. Seahawks and Lions. One of these teams will be over 500 at the end of the day on Sunday. Game is in Detroit. Detroit, 3-point faves.
Really? Yeah, I see Seattle winning this pretty handily, to be honest with you. Like, Detroit just doesn't... Seattle, handily.
I'm going Detroit.
Yeah, I know you are.
I'm going Detroit. Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs, 9.5-point favorites at home.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. As last week, that romping they gave the Bengals was the Psych 2C on Sunday Night Football.
No kidding.
I got the Chiefs winning this one. I know you probably do too, right?
9.5 is low, man. I might want to go put some money on that.
Right. The Redskins at Giants. Another morning matchup. Redskins, first place in the NFC East.
And they're going to stay in first
4-2.
place.
Taking on the 1-6 Giants. Giants, though, 1-point faves at home.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's a betting line. People want to put money on the Giants. All those New Yorkers. Yeah, Redskins are winning this.
Mike Francesa, Francesca, whatever his nuts is. He's over there betting on it. But yeah, I like the Redskins in this one as well. Although I hate to say that. Come on, Giants, pull one out for me.
The worst part of that is the Redskins. Like, you don't know which Redskins team's going to show up. So I could definitely see the Giants winning by 30, you know? But Redskins should win this one pretty easily.
It's going to be like a 9-6 game,
Yeah,
dude.
right.
Like field goals. Good thing I have the Giants kicker. He's going to pull through. But we have the return matchup of Week 1 tie. Browns and Steelers playing. Browns 2-4-1. You know, I predicted them to go,
16-0.
I predicted them to go 10-4-1 this year, so we'll see if my prediction holds up true. The Steelers.
Well, they would be one game short. So what game did they play?
I'm at 11. I was thinking Amari Cooper still. I'm at 11-4-1.
Hurry up and make up your change of your prediction.
Do you know the last time the Browns beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh?
You know, somebody asked us this yesterday, and I didn't know the answer to that.
Me neither. But I can tell you right now, it's going to be Sunday. Browns are winning, baby.
It's going to be a tie again, Jason. It's going to be a tie again.
How awesome would that be?
Steelers are winning this. But even with all the drama, Cleveland's defense is coming back down to earth. Hugh Jackson is the worst coach in football. I'm convinced of it. He comes out last week and throws his offensive coordinator under the bus and flat out says, as an offensive guy, I should be able to make calls and be able to play things. And then a day later, Hugh Jackson gets in front of the meeting and goes, I didn't say that. I said that I can help him out with stuff. I didn't say I was taking over play calling, which he did say the day before, like you listened to it. Hugh Jackson is a mess, doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He can't control his coaching staff. Todd Haley has him by the balls. Game is going to be ugly. Steelers are winning this. Even with the Steeler drama is going to outplay the Hugh Jackson being a shitty head coach. You're welcome, everybody.
Put your testicles in the sea gap. Go Brownies. Ravens at Panthers. Last morning game on the slate. Going to be in Carolina. Baltimore coming off a loss last week. Justin Tucker going to have to start a new streak of extra point field goals made, as last week he missed his first one out of 222 attempts.
Yeah.
It's now 222-1. Is Justin Tucker.
222 out of 223. That's how they do it.
Yeah, well,
they don't do it.
I say 222-1. It was a loss.
Well, horrible time to miss your first kick to tie the game up there. This is a tough one right here, man, because the Panthers at home are good.
I'm surprised. Ravens, though, 2.5-point favorites. Panthers come off a big win against the Eagles last week, but they came back down 17-0 to win. Like, this one, whew.
I'm going to go Ravens on this one. I think the Ravens will surprise the Panthers because of the big game last week for the Panthers coming back, because that always drains a team or whatnot. And the Ravens will be motivated, especially to rally around Tucker, actually, because a lot of them rallied around him after he missed
I mean, Tucker, he is still amazing. He's awesome. Just feel bad for the guy.
He sat in that press conference and answered every question that came his way after he missed that. And you know, when it's automatic like that, he felt worse than anybody has ever felt missing a field goal, right?
And it was just one of those weird games, too, because the first one he made, he almost missed. It went over, the goalpost, wow.
But he didn't just, miss it. He curved it out.
He shanked that thing hard.
I mean, it was going straight, and then it just, took a hard right, blinker came on and it went to the right.
It was like,
holy crap.
It's like when you see those videos of somebody at an intersection and a car's coming and then a semi just comes and takes it out. He did not make it across the road. That's what it looked like. It's just nope, see you later. We got Colts at the Raiders tomorrow. Colts 3-point favorites because
so many bad
the Raiders
games this week.
Just suck tremendously.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders rally here, man. No Cooper. You got Derek Carr came out and said, I'm a Raider through and through.
The Raiders actually have a chance because maybe their receivers will actually not drop the ball because Cooper's not there anymore. So.
Oh my gosh. So much hate for the new Dallas Cowboy. Gosh, I swear, Steve. I swear.
He's not as good as everybody says he is.
So much hate.
But Coulter, not a good team either. Andrew Luck is playing exceptional this year. The offense is doing good, but it's the typical same old Indianapolis Colts where their defense lets them down. But Coulter winning this game. Raiders are a mess in the locker room. Every player hates the coach. Nobody thinks they're going to be there after this year. It's over. Raiders are done.
Raiders pull it out. Put it for the Gipper. Packers at Rams. 9 points is what the Rams are favored by, the largest point spread that Aaron Rodgers has faced.
In Green Bay?
In LA.
Oh, in LA? Yeah.
Probably going to be a lot of green, though.
Oh, the whole stadium's going to be green. Guarantee you that.
But it's going to be interesting because we also have a baseball game in LA that night. No. So there's not going to be a whole lot of, the fans here,
They don't cross over there. They won't cross over like that.
What do you mean? I'm just saying, I don't think there's going to be a lot of Rams fans there.
No, there's not a lot of Rams fans there on a regular day when there's no baseball.
I know, I think, with there being a baseball game for the World Series, I think there's going to be a lot of Green Bay fans there.
Rams should win this one pretty handily. But I hate to say that, but I'm going to go Rams.
Rams are going to win. I don't think the 9 points. I don't think I think the Packers cover here.
Aaron usually keeps people in games.
Yeah, Aaron can keep people in games, so I think...
The problem is, though, that Rams defense is so good. They might kill Aaron Rodgers.
They might.
He might.
He might die. We might witness a funeral this weekend.
We might.
hope Danica wears black.
I hope the X-ray machines are working well in Ram Stadium or whatever stadium they're playing in.
USC.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. The cavernous Coliseum. Oh man, so USC's going to.
Yeah, I was going to say they got a day game on Saturday, then they got to flip it over.
That's why that's a day game, man. Okay, because I couldn't figure out why USC ASU was a day game. That must be why. So they can flip the field.
That would explain it. Yeah. 49ers at Cardinals. 49ers 1.5 point favorites.
There was a lot of bad freaking football this weekend, man.
But hey, the Cardinals, they did beat the Niners this year.
Yeah, it's CJ Beathard's first game though, right? Or second game?
Yeah.
So what do you feel about this? Because I kind of have a lengthy thing on this.
Yeah, lengthy thing. I mean, I don't know. Like, you got Byron Leftwich in there this week, offensive coordinator. Is he calling plays?
Yeah, he's the offensive coordinator.
So he's gonna be calling like straight up plays.
Dude,
like
Wilkes is a defensive guy. He knows nothing about offense.
So it's Leftwich's job now. Byron, he's heard in his press conference. Guy sounds pretty confident. It'll be interesting. New face, new blood. I've been getting a lot of trade offers this year because I had David Johnson on my team on fantasy. I'm so reluctant to let him go because I'm like, all right, I got to see what they do this week. Like, this is the week that's going to make or break whether or not I trade David Johnson. And I feel like this is the week I say, nope, David Johnson's off the board. Nobody's getting him because Byron Leftwich is going to come in and he's going to get back to that Bruce Arians style of using David Johnson in the offense.
Yeah, so the Cardinals should go back to the risk it, no biscuit play calling that they had the previous years because Leftwich actually learned under Arians, right?
Yeah.
But here's the problem with Sunday's game, in my eyes, is the Niners don't have any tape on what's going to be called or anything. It's not going to change so dramatically that it's going to look differently. The personnel will be the same. The play calls are going to be pretty much the same, but he's going to have new plays in there. Byron Leftwich's just smart enough as a quarterback to go in and say, okay, here's what do you feel comfortable with, blah, blah, blah. So I could actually see the Cardinals winning this game in a blowout and everybody's hopes getting sky high. And then once everybody gets film on them, they go back to just sucking again the next week, right? So I'm going to pick the Cardinals in a kind of a blowout on this one just because of that reason right there. Is because it is going to shift from the conservative run the ball up the middle that McCoy was doing with David Johnson and the little flare-outs, that he does to his receivers. It's going to change from that and be more of a balanced play calling, and I don't think the Niners are going to be ready for it, to be honest with you. And then the Cardinals defense is, I guess you could say kind of getting their act together, even though they're still bad. But with Patrick Peterson's drama this year, with this week, with wanting to be traded, then having to backtrack, the other players on the team, so they've all kind of rallied around that a little bit. So I think the defense is going to step up. So the Cardinals are going to win this one, but it's going to give everybody in Phoenix this giant hope that the team's back and they're going to start winning again. And I think we're just setting ourselves up for a big letdown.
I really want them. I think last game they introduced the defense during pregame. I was like, man, I kind of hope they
that Thursday night game?
Yeah, I kind of hope they introduce the defense because Peterson always gets the last go.
You want to see if he gets booed?
Yeah, I want to see what happens. Like fan.
I saw.
Fan lines.
I saw a couple. Like polls like on radio stations here and everything, and it was like 12% were mad at Peterson for wanting a trade. 12% was mad at the way the coaches work or whatever, and 70% were like we let him go to a contender. We want to see him win.
Right.
So everybody definitely took Patrick Peterson's side is what I'm getting at. If he does, if we're not going to dominate and play, and he's not happy here, then let him go. Kind of a deal. But it just shows the discontent going on in this team right now with the coaching staff, and that's the thing. Is you can understand if it was the offense being discontent. But that's the defense. Wilkes' strong point is the discontent. That's the alarming thing where everybody's hung up on McCoy's not doing anything, so they fired him, all that stuff. But I'm like, everybody's missing the bigger point here is your head coach is a defensive head coach, knows nothing about offense, handpicked his defensive coordinator because they work well together, and the defense is the offense is a problem, but the defense is a huge problem. It would be one thing if the defense just dominated all the time and everything, and the offense was letting them down. No, the defense is discontented. They all hate being there. Anytime your cornerstone a defensive player comes out and nobody backed him up. You know, even Chandler Jones, like, put, you know, the right eye emoji on Twitter. Like, you know, that whole defensive line agrees. They're all like, let's all get out of here, you know? And that's not good when that's your head coach's specialty.
That is true.
Anyway.
Sunday Night Football, Saints coming off a big win. 5-1 are the Saints this year. Surprisingly, like, they're sneakily, not surprisingly, but sneakily. Like, I like the Saints this year a lot, kind of what they did last year. But kind of surprised, like, they're 5-1 right now. Like, I didn't see it, you know, just because, like, you know, the games, like, keep going week to week. You're like, oh, wow, the Saints are 5-1 this year. That's crazy.
And they just got Eli Apple, so they're going to get better on defense.
So we'll see. Is Eli playing this week?
I don't know. I haven't seen. I haven't heard.
I mean,
cornerbacks are...
Do a lot of man coverage and stuff
there's
like
basically, that. There's basically 4 plays on defense, right? So they're not going to put him in any position where he's going to have to, like, be complicated and roll off of a guy or anything like that. Plus, he got a bad rap there in New York last year for, like, being a quitter or whatever. But he's a smart kid, so he'll be able to pick it up or whatnot.
But you just went from a 1-6 team to a 5-1 team, so I think he's going to be pretty amped up.
Stoked,
he's
right?
going to be pretty amped up for this weekend if he gets played. Of course, this is a rematch of the Saints and Vikings playoff game last year where boy just straight missed the tackle.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, the Saints were good last year. Like, they should have been in the NFC Championship game, you know, except for one, you know, mess up play, you know, that because the NFL has all these stupid penalty rules.
So Vikings are 1-point favorites.
Where's it at?
Minnesota.
I'm going to go Saints on this one, man. The Vikings just aren't clicking yet.
Yeah, they're not clicking yet. Cook, I don't know his status because he's on my fantasy team right now, so I didn't get that.
Well, he played last week, right?
No, he was out last week.
Oh, he was out last
me
week
because
again?
I thought I benched him, but I had him in, and I would have won that game had I had my guy in there that was starting because I lost my 4 points. Anyways, I digress.
Jason's mad because he can't hit the save button.
Stupid save button. I like the Saints too in this one.
Yeah.
Drew Brees, that guy's just aging like a fine wine right now. These old quarterbacks are just getting better and better, I feel like.
Right? I know.
Like Brady, Brees, like...
Well, Brady's not a small guy.
Well, no, just like these old guys.
Oh, the old guy.
Yeah, like...
Well, but that's always the way it is, Jason. Like, if you look at the history of football...
Yeah, I mean, you look at Brett Favre, he won the Super Bowl late. Well,
everybody gets excited.
He continued his career on.
Yeah.
Past.
But everybody gets excited about the young, shiny, inexperienced quarterback.
The new toy.
You know, but then the old guys just keep dominating. It's like that in every sport because experience matters. Like, there's a reason Drew Brees is stuff. Peyton Manning was awful his last 2 years, right? But he was in there enough and did just enough to get the Broncos to the Super Bowl and win it, right? And a rookie guy can't do that type of a move because it's inexperience and everything, so.
Patriots at Bills, Monday Night Football.
Oh, my God. Who's going to watch that? Can they move games?
Dude.
Game 5 to Monday night for us on baseball?
Monday night games haven't been too terrible, especially with the teams where you think, like, oh, like we thought, you know, a few weeks ago, Packers are going to steamroll the Niners. Niners hung in there tough in that game. Bills, Monday Night Football, the Mafia is going to be rocking. I remember in 2008, they were on Monday Night Football for the first time in 13 years.
Do you
and
work
it was
for
huge.
ESPN and you're overhyping this, trying to find a reason to watch it? The Cardinals have no offense. The Cardinals have a historic low in the NFL on offense this year, and the Bills are still worse than them.
So,
Oh my God, this
Bills,
isn't even going to be...
14-point underdogs at home. Anderson, you also got the Peterman.
I would say, I don't even know who's starting for the Bills.
I don't know
this
either.
year.
I think they're sticking with Anderson.
Oh my God, did that not go well last week
That
or what?
couldn't have gone any worse.
Oh, dear God, right?
But no, I like the Patriots.
All of that to go. But you think it's going to be close?
I think the Bills hang tough for a bit.
For the first 2 minutes of the game?
I think they hang tough.
I think they hang tough till kickoff.
I think it's like 7 points at halftime.
Yeah,
that's hanging tough to me.
Yeah, the Bills hang tough, and they'll be tied when the game kicks off, and then after that it'll be a
The
blowout.
Patriots will they will surpass the spread middle of the third, and then just steamroll it from there.
I don't even know what to say on that. It's not even going to be close.
All right, we'll keep eyes
Even
on
if
that.
the Patriots bench all their starters, like, it's not going to be close.
Falcons, Cowboys, Titans, and Chargers are all on bye weeks this week.
So here's an interesting question for you regarding the football. Ray Caruth released from jail a couple weeks ago. How do you feel about that?
I thought he had a workout with the Cowboys this week, but then they decided to go Cooper on that, so I don't know.
Ba-da-ba, ding!
Ding.
If I would have made that joke, you would have been like, hey, they're knocking on the Cowboys.
Yeah, I can knock on my team. It's like when you have like a retard in your family. You can say retard, but you can't say it. I can say it.
Yeah,
I can pick on my brother. You can't pick on him.
Your complaints go to Jason Carter 03. The nice thing about it is Ray Caruth's son. The son that almost died when he tried to kill the mom, or did kill the mom, is going to the Panthers-Ravens game this weekend. A fan and the Panthers got together and invited the grandmother who raised the kid and the son to the game to watch the team. He's got VIP passes and all that stuff and everything. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the kid's fault. His dad's a low... Well, I'm not going to say bad things about Ray Caruth now that he's out of jail.
No, right? He'll come on. I don't know if he has an iPhone to listen to the podcast.
I don't know what kind of connection. He might have worse connection now that he's out.
Right.
Now that he's out of prison, he might have learned a thing or two.
He probably knows some of our fan base.
But I mean, 19 years. Like, I just feel like it should have been a lot longer, right? Like, that was a pretty... he hid in the trunk, remember?
Right.
It was like a whole deal back then. So I was just more surprised that it was like only 19 years. I kind of felt like it should have been longer, But anyway, that's me.
So last on this show, 3 employees of Adidas were found guilty this week of basketball recruiting schemes where they were giving money to the families to get their kids in college.
What were they actually charged with, right?
So the guilty verdicts against 2 former Adidas employees and an aspiring sports agent in Manhattan federal court Wednesday. During the 2 days, deliberation concluded that it constituted fraud for the defendants to funnel money to families of college basketball recruits in exchange for the prospect's commitment to the team sponsored by Adidas.
So it's fraud.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because, I mean, here's the interesting thing about that whole case, because I followed it and everything. But, like, dude, I mean, they flat out pointed at 5 or 6 programs, like Bill Self in Kansas, U of A, Louisville, whatever you want to say about it.
Louisville.
And, like, I feel like nobody's talking about these basketball schools being flat out finger pointed under oath by lawyers, by defendants, and everybody where they said, and it's like, I feel like the schools are just scaping by and everything. So, like, nothing's going on. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, Bill Self, told him to pay a guy $700,000 to go to his school. And, and the other interesting thing about the whole thing is, like, they have budgets, right? So, like, one of the coaches, it might have been Bill Self, but one of the coaches was asked, like, hey, it's going to cost $500,000 to get this player. And he goes, oh, that's too much. Pass on that one. It's like they have budgets on how much Adidas can pay these guys, to get them to funnel them to the school and everything. So it's just like, what is going on? The thing, though, that the bigger repercussion, besides the fact that nobody cares that these basketball programs did it, is that they got so much... The Fed's got so much recognition and everything for going after the basketball schools. Just watch, football's going to be next.
Oh,
you're going to see some football programs be targeted and taken down here in the same manner if they haven't cleaned up their program. It's going to come, because that once you open up that can of worms with basketball, and basketball is probably a lot more dirty than football is, to be honest with you.
Right.
Just
well,
because
there's some shady stuff that goes on in football.
Yeah. But I mean, basketball is more. It's more important to get that one and done guy in basketball because that kid can literally get a coach $1 million contract. One big kid in football isn't necessarily going to make your program, but in basketball, one and done kid can literally set you up as a coach for $1 million raises and stuff like that. So it's not going to be as dirty as basketball. But yeah, no, I'm fascinated. I'm more fascinated, not the fact that it was being done and all that stuff. I'm more fascinated in the fact that literally programs and coaches were shown to be doing this. They have tape of them, everything, and that was just brushed over, and everybody's like just ignoring that, and they're focusing on the illegal payments and stuff.
Like, that's what one thing I hate about it so much is, I mean, like, we all know that there's some money kind of laundering going on in college sports. Like, all right, it happens. We're getting it from the school, we're getting it from like, these kids are getting, their family were getting paid by Adidas themselves. Like, hey, go to this Adidas school. They get paid by that. I mean, the only thing that really is going to be a crime is whenever the poor family has, like, tax evasion issues. In my opinion, like, I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, these guys are literally just, like, setting up kids to go to college. Like, it's no different than a rich kid going to college of his choice, but he just gets all those things handed to him by his parents.
Well, it's a pay. Well, that's how they got around the NCAA rules, and I think that's why the schools aren't getting in trouble.
Right.
Is because they didn't hand the money to the kid and say, go here. They went to the parents and, well, who's at New Balance offered that high school recruit kid $1 million internship. So $200,000 over the next 5 years, and he graduates in like 2021, and it's like, like, there's ways around these rules, right? And apparently the way around that rule, the problem where they got nailed on fraud, if I'm right, that's why I wasn't sure what they charged them with, is because they weren't reporting it and everything to the family.
And that was like the big thing. That's where like the tax evasion stuff kind of comes in. So
I mean, if they would have been giving it to the families,
fraud necessarily.
Yeah, but they would have been giving it to the families and then maybe reporting it, like no crime was committed. Because there's nothing that said, I mean, Cam Newton got away with it in Auburn.
Yeah.
Remember his dad was literally taking payments from Florida, and when he was leaving Florida, he was taking payments from schools. And then one school got pissed because they gave him a shit ton of money and he didn't go there. He went to Auburn instead. It's like, that's the interesting thing about it, and the ways around these circles and whatnot. And then the other thing learned from this is the NCAA does not care. They don't care to investigate anything. They don't care to be in front of it. They just bury their heads in the sand until they have to investigate it, Like, they could care less because they just want their $1 billion cash cow to keep coming in.
Exactly, which is March Madness, and they want March Madness to be
it's
the
like
best.
They just want it to end so they can just get their money. But I mean, some well-respected assistant coaches were taken. That's the thing, like if you're involved in this type of an endeavor, right, you want to be the head guy, like the head coach, because then your assistants and people below you take the fall because they're doing all the dirty work or whatever.
Shit rolls downhill.
Because they probably know about it, but the way they set it up, they can deny it and stuff. So as the assistant coach, you got to do all that stuff. So same thing with Adidas. It wasn't like the executive, like the CEO of Adidas knew what was going on, right? Because he's $700,000 in payments are going out to one kid or one family or whatever. But he has it set up.
Budget.
Yeah, he has it set up to where it goes to somebody else. But it's a fascinating case there, and I think it's going to change the dynamics. Like this whole G League thing, the whole joke was, which I found was funny, when the G League was like, we're going to pay every one and done kid that doesn't want to go to college $125,000, and everybody's like, they can make more going to college. Because I mean, what was the rumor with DeAndre Ayton going to U of A? Wasn't it like $700,000 or something like that?
It was something pretty.
Like, and if you look at his, and it being a number one pick, if you look at his market value, he's actually worth more than that.
Yeah.
His parents probably could have held out and got a couple mil, to be honest with you.
Got a better deal. Jeez.
So
he settled for U of A.
Right.
Give him the Homer discount.
But I think I addressed it last week where there's a kid, I don't remember who he is, but he played for Kansas or something, and he was paid like $250,000 or something like that. I said it last week. And he's not even good enough to be in the NBA. He's like playing in Australia or whatever, and that kid got $250,000 to go to like Kansas or some big school. It's like, oh my God.
Just throwing the money out there, all because the cash cow that is March Madness. Well, you don't have to wait until March to hear another main event. We'll be back next week right here on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify. So make sure you share us, like our page, give us ratings, do all that stuff. That'll probably give us some money or some sort, and maybe some ad revenue coming in. So if you do that, that'll fill our pockets with some green, and we will do good things for you.
And we'll probably have a World Series winner. Well, we will have a World Series winner.
We should have a World Series winner.
Games. Yes.
So we will look forward to that and talking some World Series and recapping all that jazz. So until next time, thanks for listening. God bless you. God bless the troops, and God bless America.